You're listening to TSN Drive with Dave Naylor on TSN 1050 Toronto and tsn1050.ca.
Watching the Stanley Cup final, it occurs to me how much hockey, especially the Bruins, have played. Remember their April, where because of the
bombings, they got a condensed schedule right at the end.
Schedule.
Yep.
And then do 7 games against the Leafs. Now they managed to shorten their workload in rounds 2 and 3, but now they're going at least 6 games with all these overtimes. Well, they've already played.
Oh, 3 of the 4 games have been OT, so it's just been insane.
It's a big part of hockey, and one we are going to explore with our next guest, Mark Fitzgerald. He runs Elite Training Systems in Whitby, Ontario, works with players right from, the OHL right up to the National Hockey League. Mark, welcome to TSN Drive.
Hi, Dave. How you doing? Thanks for having me.
Not too bad. We think of this as kind of a downtime. The hockey season for most athletes is not that far behind them, and we know athletes take some time off. Are you busy these days, or are you finding that guys want to get back at next season almost before last season is done?
Yeah, you know what? Busy isn't even the word, which obviously very fortunate, but the gym is buzzing, and it's been buzzing for probably a good 2-3 weeks now, with the OHL season ending a lot sooner for a lot of guys because of their playoff schedules. The young guys tend to make their way in first after some rest. I don't let them come in too soon after the season. And then now all of our pro guys, obviously who aren't playing, are back, and they're kind of in their full swing in their first phase of getting some of that size and strength back and building for next season.
How much training is too much training? I know that we often think of, more is better, but how do you help players establish that line to make sure they get enough time where they're not training?
Well, you know what, that's a good question too. There's a lot of people that just want to be busy all the time, and training. Oh yeah, I'm working hard. But my biggest emphasis is nutrition. We work hard, but we rest and recover harder, and the biggest part of that is nutrition and recovery strategies. So before these guys even touch a weight, it's it's food journaling, it's a nutrition consultation, it's reworking, how they eat. If it's guys that have been with me for a number of years, then it's they're kind of getting back to where they should be if they've strayed off that path. And if it's someone new, then it's, hey, this is how we do things. This is how a healthy athlete lives his life, and how a healthy athlete maintains his or her career. So it's extremely important to start with that. And then, as far as the training goes, I mean, every one of my athletes is different. And I think the easiest and the best way to say or to read, what the training entails and how much stress and when they need breaks is to be in the gym with them. You see tiredness in a lot of different ways with their, in their complexion, in their body language, in their performance. So the way I work is in 3 intense weeks, and then we have a recovery week, so an offloaded week where we'll focus more on yoga, a couple of yoga sessions. We even get in the pool. I'm lucky I have a facility that's beside or located in the same area as an Olympic-sized swimming pool. So we'll get in there and we'll do some active recovery, and we'll come back for that after that 4th week, and we'll reload again and go hard for another 3 weeks. And I found that to be very successful with my guys because they always come back rejuvenated and the numbers always go up. So it seems to be working.
Mark, when you get a new athlete in there, what is the one thing you believe that athletes are taught incorrectly when they begin training?
Oh, another good one. I don't think there's one specific thing. I think a lot of, people in my profession, strength coaches, might tend to focus too much on maybe one style of training, whereas, I really look at myself as a cook. I take from a lot of different people that I follow and I've learned from over my career, and I apply what works on each athlete. So I don't know if there's a specific movement that is taught wrong, but it's more of let's do a couple things and let's do them really, really well. That's always been my philosophy, and the rest of the stuff will be, add-ons. There's always new fluffy, gimmicky stuff that comes out every year that guys want to try, but they know that in here it's the basics, and getting good at the basic stuff will allow you to do a lot more than trying to be a circus or a one-trick pony.
In conversation with Mark Fitzgerald of Elite Training System in Whitby, Ontario. You work as strength and conditioning coach with the Toronto Marlies, and you obviously know Dallas Aikens very well. He's going to a new team where they've got a lot of young players who may not have established their routines as pros as long as guys who've been in the game longer. How much of a priority do you think the whole strength and conditioning side of the game will be for him in establishing his culture in Edmonton?
Well, I mean, being with Dallas for the past 4 years is, I'm tremendous, fortunate on my behalf. I mean, talk about a coach who lets the guys like me do their job. He is the epitome of that. And really, when you have a coach who lets you do that, the success is there, as you can see with our past 2 years there. What the guys in Edmonton don't realize is that Dallas is so focused on the strength conditioning and nutrition and recovery side of it that I don't think if they don't buy in, they're going to be in for a rough ride, because he is. And again, it makes me, a vital role, as even more of an important role on that team, because our whole schedule is developed around training and nutrition. So, you really get a chance to read your players and make sure that they're firing on all cylinders when they need to. And and that is such a huge part of it, especially with the NHL schedule. I think he's going to go in there. I know he's going to go in there and set a tone of fitness and the kind of style and the kind of pace of play that he usually plays at and coaches at. Those guys are going to be, if they aren't already, they're going to be in for a big change.
Mark, we only got about 30 seconds left, but I just want to ask you one last thing. Obviously, the expectations for kids on the ice now, they're so much higher than they used to be. When would you expect, an elite athlete to start training? Like what age?
For weight training, puberty. And some parents don't like hearing that, but you really can't gain size, speed, or strength without that testosterone. So without those hormones on the female side. So really, anything before that, play sports. Learn movement patterns. So with our pre-puberty athletes in here, we just take them through movement patterns. We teach them, jumping, sprinting, all the natural things that they should learn through play. But just kids don't play as much as they used to. And, once they hit puberty, then they can start to load up those patterns and learn different types of lifting and have it actually be beneficial. But before puberty, they're, just play sports, be active, and be athletic.
Great stuff, Mark. We appreciate your time on this.
No problem. Thank you for having me.
Mark Fitzgerald from Elite Training System in Whitby. And there are going to be some tired guys at the end of the Stanley Cup final.
Oh, I can tell you there's some guys that probably need a couple weeks after these finals. As you said, too, and not to take anything away from the Blackhawks, but particularly these Boston Bruins after they're condensed at the end of the season.
Bob McKenzie might need some time off at the end of this as well.
No, don't give these guys. These guys are fine. Duffy complains about his schedule all the time. Don't even give me that.
McKenzie is our guest next after the top of the clock. We will check in. I don't know if he's still in Boston or is he in Chicago?
No, I believe, I got to tell you, if I'm reading their tweets correctly, they were on Dregs was on Mike Richards in the morning and then boarded a plane. So I'm going to take a stab in the dark
that they're back in the Windy City.
That they are they're back in Chicago now.
Bob McKenzie, our hockey insider, up next with Kate Burness. I'm Dave Naylor, and you are listening to TSN Drive.